where we were before.
Hey, it's Don. So welcome back to my garage, and what we're going to do today is we're going to reduce the felt recoil on a G3 HK91 PTR91. This happens to be the PTR91. It's actually not all that hard to do and relatively inexpensive considering the price of the guns themselves, so let's hop to it. Alright, so first things first, we need to get at the buffer system. So we're going to pull the pins, and mine are still really new and really tough to get out, so they need a little bit of help. Put those in the buttstock holes because that's what it's for. Pull your buttstock off. Alright, when you look inside, you see those two screws and a plunger sitting there. You take those two screws out, and there's washers on it, and you end up with something that looks like this. All right, that's the stock one that comes out. It only goes in one way, with that being towards the top. Okay, the two screws. You see that tiny little plunger right there? Well, the one that's in there right now is an improved buffer from Bill Springfield at triggerwork.net. Now, you may have seen the other video on my channel. He actually did the trigger for this, and wow, I ran 20 rounds of just some cheap steel ammunition through it, and that trigger is phenomenal compared to what it used to be. But right there is a close-up of the buffer, the improved buffer. That'll get you 30 to 40% reduced recoil all by itself, but we're not done. We're going to come down to the other end and get rid of that flashlighter and put something on that's a little bit meaner looking. Alright, so first things first, we got the gun flipped around in the vise so it's in the frame, and we need to get rid of this flashlighter. Now, you take a 3/4 inch wrench, stick it on there, and it will take a little bit of force to break it free. Use some penetrating oil to let it sit for a second to help it if you need to, and just screw it off, lefty-loosey. Once that's done, get rid of it. You won't be needing it anymore. Clean those threads off good. Alright, what are we going to use? Well, what we're going to use is a precision Armemant M472, and this is the 7.62, the 308 version, and look at that thing. Ooh-wee. Now, this is not going to get you any friends at the range because of these angles. It's not even blowing it straight out, it's angling it back at your neighbor. The Truth About Guns did a really good review of a bunch of different brakes for 308s, and this one was way up there, so this is the one I went with because I hate my neighbors, apparently. So this, you can try to get it on here and see how it goes, but most likely you're going to have a timing issue because it does need to be, like, see, it's crooked. The stock one is uniform all the way around, so there's no timing issues. You just tighten it up. So in order to time it, it uses a what's called a smart washer system. You see all these washers, they're different thicknesses, so you just use whichever one will get it so that you time it out straight. Okay, so we don't need much there, so we'll try a small one and see how it goes. Fast forward. Now this one is almost there. And I'm wondering if that would, that'll probably time out. Yeah, I'm thinking that'll probably time properly once I tighten it up. So let me get a, all right, so this takes a 7/8. It does have the flats here. It takes a 7/8. I don't have a 7/8. So I'm gonna have to ghetto it up a little bit, and that's all it took. A little bit more. And there it be. So let's take a gander. All right, so that's the way it looks on the front. And there is the brake fully installed. You can see the smart washer sitting there. And not bad. So we'll have to see how it goes. And there's the normal brake, or flash hider I should say. All right, so why this particular brake? So I mentioned earlier that Truth About Guns did a review on this, and this brake actually reduces recoil like 70-some% over bare muzzle, and that video is actually phenomenal, and all the data that they tracked on that is pretty great. I'll put a link to it down below. You want to click through that, but so this is really effective at reducing recoil, and I have mini midgets who need to shoot, and I would like them to be able to shoot this, so I need to reduce the recoil. And some may say that, you know, flinching based off of the noise is an issue too, but we can double up on hearing protection in order to mitigate the noise. So recoil was something I was really worried about, so that's why I went this route. So the buffer is about $59, I think. Through triggerwork.net, you can get a whole assembly so you can just swap it in and keep your original, or you can actually send him your original, and he'll just swap out the guts of it and fix it all up for you for like $39, I think. Don't quote me on the price, you know, look it up. Depending on when you're watching this, the prices may have changed. But and this, depending on where you get it, it's going to be right around $80, $100, something like that. Unfortunately, you got to buy these darn smart washers, and they're going to be like another $20. So, but there you have it. That's how to reduce recoil on a G3 HK91 PTR91 series. We'll see how it goes next time I go to the range. I did test out the buffer today at the range, but I didn't have my wrenches, so I couldn't get the brake off to test that one too. So another range trip. Darn. All right, this is Donovan. I'll check you later. Out.